Hi, I'm the Tony's Review Mom, and today I am going to be going through Time Academy Adventure Through the Eras Tonieplay game. This guy is aimed at age 7+. We'll talk about that as we get through. When you open it up, that unboxing, the first thing you're going to find here is a little pamphlet. You can set that aside. That's just for fun. You don't really need it. What you need is right here. This is your Tonieplay disc. In addition to your Tonieplay disc, you're going to need a Tonie box too, and a controller. This guy is sold separately. There's a couple games that come with it, but this isn't one of them. So when you get it, you're going to fit that guy right down over the ears. Right there, it's going to center on that dynamic light ring there, and then you're going to pop this little guy on top. When you first put it on, it'll have you download it. It'll take several minutes, and then it'll be complete. But I mean, it is a good size weight on that download time, so don't do it when you're in a rush. It has 110 minutes of straight content to download, and then it also has all the extra choices that you're gonna make. I'll note that when you're in the middle of playing a game, you're gonna be able to download other games without losing your place. You can play Tonies, you can play other games. It's going to remember the general area you were in the game when you come back to it, so it's not going to forget that. That's really nice. When you navigate within this game here, you have your control button right here. You're going to follow the lights on this light ring. They're going to point to different things, and you have an option right here. This is a fast forward button, and this is a rewind button, and this moves you forward or back within the scene that you're in, up to the next decision or back to just ending from the next decision, the last decision there. So that's in case you missed something, or if you're like, I've heard this and ready to move on. That's that right there. Actual gameplay on this has two different layers. The first layer is like a choose your own adventure story. You're going through the story. It has objects that you're intended to find. You're going to help some other characters along the way. And no matter what choices you choose, you are ultimately going to get the objects and you're going to end up at the Time Academy successful. The second level, after you finish that, there's another layer of gameplay, and the teacher invites you a chance to go back through all the eras and look for hidden items. And hidden items can be found by making the right choice at a certain era. At a certain area within an era. There are 3 eras, 3 time periods that they have you go through: the medieval, the Jurassic, and the future era. You start at one era and you move through the other 2 as well, each time to find a hidden item. So you have to practice finding your hidden items. You have to start one time and play the whole game through, starting at a different era the first time each time. So that is a total of 3 times 3, 9 times that you're playing that through. So there's a lot of extension on that. There's a lot of extra gameplay that can be done. I will note that there are subtle changes. There's no plot ending differences. So when you're playing through a time period, it's gonna follow the same pattern even if you're playing through it a second time. The choices you make are minor changes within that, but the overall plot arc is gonna stay the same. Within the navigation, I mentioned you're gonna turn the dial. You're gonna turn that dial. This part magnets on, and then the dial itself is gonna turn with the pointy guy. You can hear that. You're gonna select colored lights by pushing the button. It'll say to go left, select the blue light. To go right, select the yellow light, or something like that. And then you'll turn and make your selection. It also has you turn the dials to chase the lights with no requirement to push the button. And then it also has a point where you're going to tap the side of the box 3 times. It's not really hard. It will register a light tap. There's a small amount of dexterity required to play the game, but this could actually be accomplished with a finger or the side of the hand, and then you get that nice click even with an open palm. There's no rush within the gameplay. Instructions will just repeat. Even if it sounds urgent, quick, dodge right, quick, avoid the bus. It's not going to affect the gameplay if your child is a little bit slower to pick it up, or if the dexterity isn't there to move the dial really quickly. You're still going to be able to play that game and it's just going to repeat those instructions patiently until you're able to move forward with it. Within the game, the sound design is really well done. It feels immersive. It's not flat. The sound effects are really good. They use background music to enhance the emotion. The voice actors are really good. You really feel like you're there. I do have to mention it's on the box here, but it's not in huge printing. This has flashing lights. If it's going to trigger a migraine, if it's going to trigger a seizure, you're going to need to not play this game, or really any Tonieplay game. They really depend on this light ring to tell you what choices to make, and then they use it to emphasize within the game. If something, like if thunder were to crash and lightning, you'd see the white light flash. So just to be aware of that. Within your storyline, it's a fantasy and a sci-fi blend. You have a robot cat who is a combination of robot and cat. I mean, that's pretty obvious there. There's time travel. You're going to find magic. You're going to find talking animals. The storyline, the main character within it, this little guy here, his name is Chime. He's kind of a bit bullied or outcast in his class, so he doesn't have a partner for the big end of year exam. Lucky for you, you've been communicating with him via time radio, and so he invites you to come into his class and be his partner on an adventure through the ages. The end of year quiz requires them to travel to 3 different eras and pick up the 3 different objects. If you were to start in the medieval era, you're going to help a knight get certain items that he needs in order to participate in a joust and assist in defeating an angry wizard. I like to note that the medieval era avoids gender stereotypes really well. We have the princess as an excellent fighter. There's no need to rescue her. And then we also have a female blacksmith who's pretty awesome. The winner of the joust is going to get a place in the palace guard. He's not going to marry the princess, and nothing is hinted at as far as romance or relationship, just a good friendship there. And our knight wins through a self-confidence boost in realizing that people care about him rather than through luck or magic, which is really nice there. It also mentions a tavern as a place to drink hot cocoa. So if your kid tells you that they would like to go to the tavern, you're going to know who to blame. The future era, you're going to collect a fruit and help a guide robot get its battery back from a rogue squirrel. It's a utopian future here. There's solar powered everything. They do a quick rundown on how transportation helps to keep everything ecological. I'll note that there's some really good positivity here again. Chime ends up playing a game of ball, and depending on the choices you make, you can unlock an Easter egg, whether he wins or loses, but he's always very positive that, yes, it was great to play this game. I had fun whether he wins or loses. In the Jurassic era, you're going to collect a dinosaur tooth and help a T-Rex with a toothache. See how those two combine there? It gives some information about a specific dinosaur depending on which one you interact with. It references continental drift, the age of the Earth, so it brings in some of the educational aspect there. All the dinos are friendly, despite initial appearances, and there is an appearance of a saber-toothed tiger, and it's mentioned as a time anomaly, and it's kind of your first hint of a side quest here. Speaking of side quests, right after you do that first round, you collect all those items, which again, this is an automatic win here. You're going to collect the items the first round no matter what choices you make. The teacher explains the hidden items option. So you have the chance to go through all the eras again, starting with the medieval era the first time and then finishing the other 2, starting with the Jurassic era the first time and finishing the other 2, starting with the future era, and so on. Again, there's no plot changes, minor verbiage changes depending on some of your choices. Like in the medieval era, you have a choice to decorate the knight's shield with 3 different animals, and depending on which one you choose, he'll respond, "Oh, the lion, it's noble. Oh, the dragon, it's brave," for example. I will note that if you are playing through this and you miss making the right choice in the era that you just finished, the teacher will send you back over and over again. Had that happen to me, it was a little frustrating at some point. To summarize, this is a well-designed game. It's going to take multiple hours to move through, and it is very worth the $19.99 price, which is, I'll note, the price of a standard Tony. And this is just, you can use it, think of it as a very interactive Tony if that's just the level of gameplay your child wants. The sound effects are amazing, storyline is immersive, and having those extra interactions just adds to the fun. The age range here, again, it says 7 years and up. My precocious 4-year-old enjoys interacting with it for about 30 to 40 minutes at a time and asks for it, even without fully understanding the story. Playing the hidden rounds can unlock a few tiny changes that make the game feel dynamic, which is another little Easter egg. I would suggest parental judgment is required if you're going to buy it for little kids. There's absolutely nothing unsuitable for them. It's just their age, their interests. If they're willing to sit through a bit of story, it can be a lot of fun for them. A dedicated player making poor choices, like I did, could find that game frustrating if getting stuck in the same era multiple times. I will say, please don't skip all of the scenes, especially the ones in the middle, as you go back around. Ultra-sensitive caregivers might want to note that the medieval era has magic. The Jurassic era information mentions the age of the Earth as scientifically understood at this time. The main character is a robot-animal hybrid of some sort, not requiring a battery. So if you feel strongly about cyborgs, I guess this isn't the game for you. I would 100% recommend this for typically developing families with children who have the attention span for a regular Tony listen. You can take breaks whenever you want to without disrupting the game, so you don't have to play that entire 110 minutes of the first round all at once, or even the secondary quests. I recommend with reservations for families with children who have fine motor disabilities. The movements required for play, again, they can be done without that pinch or grasp. Minor hand control is going to be needed to hold the hand mostly steady in order to rotate the game controller, but the rest can be accomplished with arm control, like hitting the box or clicking that button. I recommend with reservations for families with children with developmental disabilities. This would be on a case-to-case basis, as every parent knows their little one's abilities and frustration levels. I'd say this wouldn't work well for completely blind individuals without caregiver assistance. Some play can definitely be done through touch and hearing alone, but not all of it. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another review.